Hey guys, it's Empyreal Panda, and today we have a new kind of video. I'm going to be talking to you about playing Magic the Gathering. Now, it's a bit of a complex game, but it's also tons of fun, and it is really rewarding to learn how to play it. We're going to be covering some very minor basics, okay, of what you need, and we're going to be using Wizards of the Coast's online platform, Magic the Gathering Arena, to learn how to play. But you can also obviously play any of this in paper form, which, to be fair, once you start playing this, it's very likely you're going to want to start collecting the cards as well and playing physically. But I have been playing now for a couple of months, and I'm still learning. And there's so much to learn, but it's super fun and easy to pick up, okay? And I thought, I love playing this game so much, and I'm so passionate about it. Why not make some videos? So what you're going to see is I'm going to be posting them on here on my main channel, but I've also started a new channel. What? No way, Panda, another channel? You crazy? Yeah, probably am actually, but I'll leave a link to it below, but otherwise it's easy to find. It's at Panda MTG. And if you guys here on the main channel aren't too keen on it, then I will just continue to post over there, and then everybody who's into Magic the Gathering can watch me there. But I'll cover a couple of reasons. Why would you want to learn to play Magic? Well, Magic is a great game for a lot of reasons. It's fun, it's challenging, it's a great way to socialize. You know, you can head off down to your local game store and you can play there. Many times they'll have cards for you to actually play with, or you can play online, you can meet new people that way. So it's just great fun, and of course, as you're here watching this video, you want to add me as a friend on Magic the Gathering? No worries, I'll insert my username under here for you, because I can't remember at the moment. It's Empyreal Panda, but then there's numbers after it. I don't know what it is, but and I'll also pop it in the description below. So yeah, that's the crux of the game today. I'm not going to be covering absolutely everything, because there's probably too much to just bung into a short video. That's what this is going to be. You know, I'm learning to play Magic. I'm still learning. I am by no means an expert, and I'm just inviting you guys to come along for the ride with me. We'll learn together. So if you've got any hints, tips, tricks, anything, please pop them down in the comments. Join my Discord where we can talk about it in more depth there. We can organize some games. I mean, hey, we could even maybe organize like an actual paper game if you've got cards yourself. And yeah, it'd be amazing. So what we'll do first is I'm just going to give you a brief overview of what's actually on the cards, okay? Because once you kind of understand how to read the cards, the rest of it slowly starts to fall into place. But I'll try and explain everything as I go. And yeah, let's get to the cards. Okay, so this is your average kind of Magic the Gathering card. Pretty straightforward. It may look a touch confusing, but don't worry, it's fine. So the first thing you're going to notice, top left here, we've got the name of the card. In this case, it's an Orcish Bowmaster, or for instance, you might have something else like this, known as Lightning Bolt. Now, they're pretty descriptive. They give you a good idea of what they are. So Orcish Bowmaster, you know it's an orc, and there's probably going to be bow and arrow involved. Or in the case of Lightning Bolt, it's a spell that deals 3 damage to any target. You know, it's as self-explanatory as it's going to get. Hey, okay, simple. Okay, so the next thing that you might have spotted is the cost, okay, and that is the top right-hand corner. In the case of the Orcish Bowmaster here, you can see it costs 1, okay, and this is mana, okay, we're gonna cover this, don't worry about it. It costs 1 and a black skull. Ooh, spooky. Anyway, so this is the amount of mana you'll need to pay to cast the card. Mana is the resource that you use to cast spells and creatures within Magic. And it's always listed up there in the top right. Now, mana, you get mana by playing lands. Okay, and as you can see below here, you've got 5 different types of mana. You've got white mana, which is usually in the form of plains. You've got red mana in the form of mountains. Blue mana in the form of islands. Green mana with forests. Black mana, swamps. Okay, quite simple, quite easy to fathom. Okay, so the one on the card here represents, you can use any one of those lands. Doesn't matter what color it is, but you need 1 colorless mana. All of those cards can represent colorless mana, and there are other ways to generate it, but we'll get to that later. Okay, but the black skull, which specifies, say, like a swamp in this case, is a black mana that you must have on the battlefield in order to cast this card. Okay, now we'll get to the gameplay and I'll tell you about tapping, which is when you use that mana to cast the card. Okay, don't worry, we'll get to that. Stay with me, all right? It's easy, I promise, okay? Next is the type of the card. It's another important element, okay? And there's many varieties. There's creatures, spells, enchantments, artifacts. Easy peasy, but the type determines what the card can do, okay? Now, for example, in this case, it's a creature. It means it can attack and it can block, okay? Whereas a spell, like Lightning Bolt, it can deal damage, or there's other cards. It can draw cards. They can do tons of things, okay? Easy peasy, nothing to worry about there. Some cards will have a super type, like for instance, we're going to bring up this one, which is Shieldred the Apocalypse. I love her dearly. She's a legendary creature, okay? And what that means is like, as she's legendary, you can only ever have one of her in play for you on the battlefield. So your opponent could have one as well, but you are only ever allowed to have one of that card in play at any time because it's legendary, okay? You can have many legendary creatures on the battlefield, but only one of each type, okay? So you can only ever have one Shieldred, okay? Now, let's go back, okay, to the Orcish Bowmasters. Now, you have subtypes, okay? Now, in this case, you got creature type, then the next is the subtype, which is Orc Archer. It's just a little bit more information about the card, to be fair. You just know it's an Orc, and it has a bow and arrow, okay? Moving on to the power and toughness, bottom right here. If the card is a creature, in this case the Orcish Bowmaster, it will have a power and toughness, okay? Power is the amount of damage that it can do to your opponent or your opponent's creatures, and the toughness, which is this right-hand number, you know, right-hand side of the backslash, is the toughness. It's the amount of damage the creature can take before it dies. Okay, so for example, if Orcish Bowmaster is hit by a creature with power 2, that's more toughness than it has. It will die. However, if, for instance, you have another card like Shieldred, which has 5 toughness, she's able to take up to 5 damage. So if she's hit with another card that has only 2 power, she survives. Okay, the other creature dies, she survives. Okay, the next is the rules text. Okay, now the rules text is the bit that it can look a little confusing at first, but with a little bit of practice, you understand them quite easily. But, you know, don't be worried if you don't get it. Especially playing MTG Arena, there's kind of constrictions in place. Constrictions or restrictions? There's restrictions that basically, if it's not valid for you to play the card because the rules text says something on it that stops you playing it, it won't let you play it, okay? Or it'll even hint you that you can play that card, okay? So don't worry about it. But so simple. So like with Orcish Bowmasters, now Flash is an ability, okay? And it basically means that you can play this card at pretty much any time, as long as you've got the mana to pay for it. So it doesn't have to come out. Some cards have to come out at specific times, generally in your upkeep. But again, we'll get to that, don't worry. So when Orcish Bowmaster enters the battlefield, and whenever opponent draws a card, except the first one they draw in each of their draw steps, that's where you're drawing cards. So if you, basically with this card, if you draw an extra card, Bowmaster pings 1 damage to either the opponent or one of their cards. It's easy. Next is the flavor text. Now, unfortunately, this one doesn't have any, so I'll be right back and I'll grab one with a bit of flavor text. Okay, so I went and found one with what I consider to be slightly humorous flavor text. Now, if you look down here, where the arrow is pointing, you can see on this counter spell. Now, we'll just revisit it very quickly. See at the top here, it costs 2 blue mana to cast this spell, and it's an instant, which means that's its type. Remember the type there? Yeah? That means you can cast this at any point. Okay, like you can't just bang it out willy-nilly, but when, say, your opponent is trying to resolve a spell, again, we'll get to resolving in the gameplay, you can cast this to counter that person's spell. And if you look at the bottom here, within the quotes, you can see it says, it was probably a lousy spell in the first place. It might not have been, actually, it might have been something deadly, but that is flavor text, okay? And finally, the last thing that you need to see, you don't really need to worry about this in MTG Arena, but if you do get into collecting Magic, physically, you know, the actual physical cards. The collector number at the bottom will basically help you to identify which variant of that card it is, which set it came from, its rarity, so on and so forth. Actually, we didn't cover rarity. If you look at the top right, no, middle right panda next to the creature, you can see there. So you've got black, which is common, blue, silvery blue, uncommon. You've got gold, which is rare, and then you have kind of a purpley, not purple, no, this is orangey red color, which is mythic rare. Those are normally your end game cards, your finishing cards. They've got some juicy powers. But that is the basic overview of the elements of a Magic the Gathering card. If you've got any questions, obviously be sure to leave them in the comments below, and I'll answer them as best I can. Or join the Discord, and I'll help you as much as I can on there. Remember, we're on a learning journey together. Okay, but let's jump into a gameplay, and you can see how this all works in practice. Okay, so here we are inside of MTG Arena, which is the most popular way of playing Magic Online. There is Magic Online, Magic the Gathering Online, but we're just not going to get into that for now. But here you are. Here's the basics of it all. First of all, show you my profile. There you go. There's my username. Told you I'd find it for you. Wow, the ranked season ends in 16 days. So basically here you can change your emotes, you can change things you say, except I have an emote? Cool! I don't have any phrases. I'll keep that one though. Yeah, confirm. Over here is your set mastery, which is essentially Magic the Gathering Battle Pass, which is it's pretty sweet, not gonna lie. But you can change your companions, so the little guys that stand on the battlefield, your avatars, these are all great. You get these from completing. There will be, I will show you that now. If we go over to play here, we go find a match, you can play. Oh, fuckers. Found it. Okay, the color challenges, okay, which is the best way to learn how this actually, Magic the Gathering or Wizards of the Coast who make Magic the Gathering, it's their tutorial. Okay, so here we've got the 5 manas that we're talking about.
Don't worry. This is all just an illusion.
Here's Jace. Okay, he's a Planeswalker. Again, pretty simple. Planeswalkers have extra abilities. We'll get to them. Okay, over the next few weeks, we'll cover pretty much everything. Okay, but that is what I highly recommend. Do the color challenges, which I think you actually have to do from memory. You have to do them before you can go into, but I think you can skip them as well. Don't skip them. Do them. Trust me. It will help you out. But if you're like me, you'll come out of it and still be like, what? But that's what I'm here for. So down here is where you get gold, you get XP, and I'm not gonna lie, you build up gold and stuff real quickly on here. As you can see, I've got 24,000, and I like to spend my coins in the store, which we're heading to now. There it is, loaded. You can buy new sleeves, you can buy packs of cards, loads and loads of cool stuff. Okay, so that's what your coins are basically spent for, but you also use gems. I use my gems to buy the mastery parts. As you can see, I've almost completed it because I play this game way too much, and it's why my poor SMP is being neglected. More on that in another video. But at the moment, I am grinding out ranked. As you can see, at the moment, I'm a platinum level tier 3. You have 4 tiers in each rank. And you have to get, you play a game, you move over 1, you need to get a total of 6 to be able to go through to the next tier. But once you've done all 4 tiers, you go up a rank. And one of the sweet things is once you've gone into a new rank, you can't go back down. Excellent! So we may as well jump into a game. Okay, so what I'm playing at the moment is ranked. I am playing a white aggro deck. Aggro just basically means I'm just going to try and overwhelm my opponent and beat them down to nothing in a matter of moments. It won't be that quick, but it's a completely white, and that is what I'm rocking for this season, for the ranked. And next season we're going to build a new deck together. So in 2 weeks we're going to build a new deck together. Why don't you leave in the comments what kind of color you want me to do? We'll do it together. Okay, let's go into a game. Okay, so we have found an opponent, Marcelo. Okay, what I should have probably mentioned as well, excuse me, is that there is, no, we're going to mulligan. Okay, so mulligan is an important thing. In this hand here, we see we have 3 lands. Remember, we need lands for mana to cast things. This is pretty sweet. We've got 3 lands. We're going to keep this. However, because we mulliganed, we do need to ditch one. Well, do you know what? We're going to get rid of Coppercoat Vanguard. By the way, I will leave a link. You can actually view this deck that I've built online, and you can take a look. Oh, look at that. Now we've got tons of mana. But I should have mentioned, there are actually different game types. Like, for instance, at the moment, we're in what's known as Alchemy game mode. And that means that there are online-only cards on here. These are all cards within the game, but there are alchemy versions of the cards and so on. We'll go into that over more detail in a few weeks. But we're not gonna play anything for now. We're gonna get some lands out. They haven't got anything out yet. Let's see what kind of... Ooh, playing against a black deck. Ooh. Now, black deck tends to not fear the graveyard. If anything, the graveyard is its friend. So over here, we've got our deck. Okay, you can see we've got 52 cards left in the deck. We've got 6 in our hand. None in the graveyard, which is at bottom right there. None in exile. Now, Planeswalker, as if by magic. Liliana of the Veil. I don't think we're gonna have to. I don't think we can let you keep that. I'm afraid we're gonna have to do something about that quite quickly. Now you see, this is a Planeswalker. It's as if I've set this game up deliberately. Okay, Planeswalkers are special types of. Well, they're not really creatures. They are just Planeswalkers. You can see it's got that mythic, rarity. Now each player discards a card, gives it a loyalty point. -2, target player sacrifices a creature. I ain't got any creatures to sacrifice. -6, separate all permanents target player controls into 2 piles that applies. Oh my god, she's evil. Okay, so what should we do? I'll tell you what, let's get rid of a land. I don't know if that's going to come back to haunt me, but for now, it might do. Let's chuck out Hello. Let's see if it resolves. Now, what I mean by resolves is, I don't think I can use that on I can't use that on a Planeswalker. Now, resolves means if the other player had a counter spell, like we saw in the cards introduction video, it could have stopped me playing that card. Okay. But because they didn't have one, it was able to resolve. So there's many things, but I'm going to try and cover them as best I can. This is the first time I've ever done it, and to be fair, normally I have to sit and concentrate pretty hard when I'm playing. But that is what resolve means. You have to resolve creatures, spells. If the player says, sure, resolve, then your creature or your instant, your sorcery, whatever it is, your planeswalker, your artifact, as long as that resolves. Oh no, we're playing against a Nazgul deck. Okay, oh no. Yeah, solving. Oh shit.
We all have things we'd rather forget.
Oh my god, we're in so much trouble here. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so Nazgul is great. I have a Nazgul deck. I will show. This might be the first game to show you that. Hey, we lost. We'll get a win before the end of the video, I promise. Nazguls, when you can have up to 9 of them. Normally, you can only have sort of 4. Will it resolve? Oh no, you see, he's got something he can use because the card's hovering. It hasn't automatically resolved. We're not going to use that yet. This card, exile target creature with mana value less than or so. In other words, right, that mana value has a mana value of 3. Hey, that's not cool, man. Any creature that he has that takes less than 3 mana. Remember, 3 mana, top of the right hand side of the card. So this one's 2 mana and a black. I have 3 mana. I could exile it, but you know what? I'm not going to. I'm going to let him get his hits in at the moment. With this, we need. If I show you this, I have an overlay. Is it? It's not gonna. Is it? There we go. I'll have to use the keyboard shortcuts instead. There is a couple cards in here. My deck basically relies around tokens. Okay, Horn of Gondor. We need that out sharpish. We're gonna let him get some hits in. Ow! But that's okay. One thing you also need to remember: don't be too worried about desperately clinging to all of your life. I need to deal with that. And I don't know how I'm going to, if I'm honest. Honestly, right at this point in time, well, that was uncalled for. This game is right. I'm sorry, sir. I can't allow you to keep that anymore. We're gonna have to. We're screwed. Make us discard a card now, bitch. Liliana of the bitch. Liliana of the Veil is a fantastic planeswalker and it's quite deadly. Do I have any planeswalkers in this deck? I can't remember if I do actually. Phyrexian Vindicated, I don't. Why? Oh, you bitch!
Have you ever heard of personal space?
That... Oh no. Okay, so there's an instant that we can cast at any time that we're going to have to discard. Ah, how did they get Liliana out so fast? It's such an OP card for 3 mana. Oh,
I'm tired of your silence.
You know what? There's just no point. We'll move on to the next game. Okay, so this is it's not bad. It's not bad. We got our 3 lands. I really do like to start. Okay, we've got the 1 ring which can give you instant protection, but you need 4 mana. But it's good to have it there. Also, Horn of Gondor, which basically is how our whole deck strategy revolves around. You can use it to basically double the amount of human tokens you have on the battlefield every turn. As long as you got 3 mana, double them, double them. Double them. And then, once that's out, and we've got plenty of them, I use this card, Moonshaker Cavalry. Man, this thing's a beast, and you will hopefully get to see it in action this video. But I don't really know. You're going to find out. But let's go gaming. What we got here? We're another Plains deck. Okay, Yotium Frontliner. Oh, Sir Ginger. Such a cool card. It's part of the new Wilds of Eldraine set. Oh, I love it. Sunfall. Another great card. Okay, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna get Ward on both of them. Now, Ward, which is part of the rules. Remember that text? Ward here. Ward basically means that any kind of instant sorcery spell, so say for instance an exile target creature, they have to pay 1 mana. So they have to have an untapped mana source to be able to use a sorcery spell against this card now. Seeing as they don't, they ain't gonna do nothing. And we're gonna swing at them. Why not? They're not gonna defend, because if they do, they're gonna sacrifice the card. So we're gonna get a cheap shot in. Why? You're really gonna sacrifice Sir Ginger? Alright then. Didn't see that coming. They've made you look a fool, Panda. What is this? I'm afraid I cannot allow you to keep that, sir. We're going to have to do away with that now, I'm afraid. Sorry about that. We're going to use this. This is a Virtue of Light. These are new for the Wilds of Eldraine set. I mean, they're not actually... we're going to swing at them again. They're adventure cards, and they have 2 sides to them. As you can see, we used the one side, which was 1 and white mana, which allowed us to create a 2/2 night token. The other side, a bit more expensive, is 5 mana. Yeah. We're going to block that one. So at the beginning of your end step, you can put a +1 counter on each creature you control. Control. Untap those creatures. It's a naughty little thing because it basically allows us to just untap all of our creatures. Now I will show you what tapping means. I've forgotten to explain that so far. You see how that card is now got the arrow on it? That means it's tapped. It means it's being used basically. Same thing happens with, and you see the tokens don't untap. Same thing happens with planes, as you'll see when I bring out another creature. But so far, so good. I need to remember to explain things. Okay, so here we are. Stop at upkeep and draw. Upkeep means... yes, I'm afraid, sir, you're not going to be able to keep that. We're swinging into that. Oh, my favorite card. To uncover. Yeah. Nah, bruv. I'm afraid, no. No, we can't allow you to keep that. We're going to have to get rid of that quite quickly. Not getting trapped in the Planeswalkers again. You're not going to keep them. I'm afraid not. Phyrexian Vindicator is a great card, okay? So it has flying, right? But any damage dealt to it, you can then, it doesn't die. You can then send that damage back to the person. How cool is that? Unfortunately, it can't. It's not safe against things like destroy target creature, but it's good. Okay, so this card's quite clever. It's going to say either they lose life or they draw a card. But we're going to take the hit of the lose life, which is basically the mana value of that card. So see, 3 mana. Oh, he's conceded. Okay, GG's. Moving on. Okay, so we are in it. Right, I'm going to... We're risking for a biscuit only starting with 2 lands. But I'm going to do it because we've got part of our win con. Oh, let's see. Say hello. Hello, fellow MD. Oh my god, I'm playing against Zelda. Ah, oh, sweet. Look at this. We managed to pull out a plane straight away. Yes, we're gaming. Let's go. So, as you can see now, because I used that side of the adventure, my plane's tapped. I couldn't play them anymore. But because we've come to our next upkeep, everything's untapped and we can reuse it again. So we're going to get out the Horn of Gondor. We'll see. It's resolved, which means they didn't have a counter spell, which means we're not although they ain't got any blue mana out. You know what? No, we're not going to swing into them yet. Oh, no. Hang on a minute. Black green. Please don't tell me you've got venerated rock priest and toxic and no. I knew it. It happens sometimes. It's okay though. It's not a big deal. We have more than 1 copy. Do you know what? That's not that scary. So we're gonna leave it. No, we're gonna pass. We're gonna go. So as you can see here, I've got 2 tap lands. And I've got 2 untapped lands, which means I can use them. Now this is going. That, I'm afraid, I cannot allow you to keep that, sir. So, I'm afraid that must go. Okay? I do apologise profusely. Does seem slightly mean, doesn't it? No, we're going to save that. So, that only used 1 mana. We've only tapped 1 land, so we still have these available. So, should they do any naughty shenanigans, we'll be able to play some of these cards if we need to. We're not going to swing into you again. We're going to pass. We're going to let you play. Okay? Please make it snappy, though. I have viewers. You draw 2 cards, you lose 2 life. And you are playing Toxic. Okay, so there are other game modes. Oh, look, we're totally... Okay, we're going to play the Virtue. Why not? Do we swing into the tail? Let's give a test swing. Let's see what they do. I'm going to block it. Obviously. It was only a turn. But that's okay. Now, at the end of every upkeep, every combat phase like so, you've got your final upkeep where you can bring out extra cards. That Virtue, which has just been destroyed! Do you know what? We're going to bring out the 1 ring. We've got protection from everything now, but it also allows us... We're going to swing into them. Get some cheeky licks. Now, anything they do next turn, they can destroy creatures. They can't destroy the 1 ring. It's got indestructible. However, they can... Okay, so these guys, you see the bubbly green bullshit. Okay, we're going to draw a couple of extra cards here. Now, the only thing is now I'm totally land heavy. Now, you see these little green things down here? These are toxic counters. Okay, we are very land heavy now, which is not a bad thing. If you get 10 of those toxic counters, you will die, okay? So we need to deal with these bitches, okay? Now this is ossification, which is a great thing. It uses a land, it turns it into essentially a dungeon. We're going to do that. We're going to lock this up. This is cooped up. Now the great thing is this card has 2 parts, right? Enchanted creature can't attack or block. They can't do nothing with it. Then, in the next step, if we want to, we can pay 2 mana plus a white mana. We can get rid of it. Let's say thanks. Right, we're going to swing into him again. Sweet potatoes, sweet potatoes. Now, can we do anything about that? We can't do anything about that. That also... Oh man, we've got so much mana. Oh no. Okay, we're not going to swing into him this time. We're not. We will though. We'll tell you. We'll use up some of our available mana. We'll exile that card. Why not? I will pass to you, my friend. Do your worst. That might have been a bad idea. That might be tempting fate. Ugh. Don't do... No! Don't... Oh, poopy. That wasn't what I wanted. Oh, look, see, I can't. It's alright though, actually. He's not going to swing into me. He's not going to do it. I'll let him swing into me if he wants, but it'll be a bad idea if he does. Because that will leave us open to get his naughty, naughty licks in. What the f... That's going to be Toxic 4! Yeah, nah, I'm sorry, bro. I can't let you do that. So this is a disenchantment, okay? It's an instant, which means I can play at any point, like I just played it then. It'll get rid of any enchantments or artifacts. It's a sweet little card. Do we allow him to get licks in? Do you know what? You can get a lick in. Alright, we'll allow it. Alright. Okay, I think we're going to have to go for the big swing here. See if... Perfect. Okay, so now what we do, we bring that out. We say, good game. We bring that out. We get rid of that, like so. Okay, and we go in for the kill shot. They're a good sport. GG's, my friend. Yeah, buddy. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that bit of gameplay. I kind of wished I could have shown you like a bit more of that deck, like how a few more of the cards work together. You know, the symbiosis between them is a word. But I hope that you got a basic overview of what Magic the Gathering is. I will get better, I promise, as time goes by, explaining what I'm doing and how the cards interact with each other, what I'm doing to counter other players' moves, things like that. But hey, look, this is the first ever video I've made of this. I've never done tutorial stuff because I'm not generally very good at it, but I think I did okay. Let me know down in the comments if you got this far. If you enjoyed it and you thought I did a good job, any hints, tips, anything that you have for me, please go out and check out the deck I'm playing. And hey, look, if you did make it this far, I really, really appreciate you. You don't know how much it means to me that you are here. If you could leave a little like and maybe subscribe if you enjoyed what you saw. But please stick around. I'm going to be making more videos like this. You will see me grinding this deck to, I mean, hopefully mythic rank by the end of the season, but I don't know. Maybe we've peaked at platinum, but hopefully not. But thank you so much for sticking around, guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye!